everyone, welcome back to my video. This is Denise McClellan and week 3 of my brain aneurysm survival story. I'm thanking you for tuning in once again and following me these last few weeks. You know what? Mentioning last week that, after I was wheeled into the operating room and all I remember was the little nurse telling me to start counting back, starting at 10. I don't really remember anything much after that, except my family members telling me that, you had just underwent surgery, so you're going to have to probably lay still. I don't even think I can raise my head. I was not able to do anything but just kind of lay on my back. And looking back in hindsight, I'm going to kind of throw this little tip in. I remember a couple of days or so prior to the actual bleed of the aneurysm, my stepdaughter came by my shop and she was looking at me. She said, "You don't look too well." And I was telling her, "You know what? I don't feel very well. I have been having headaches." And she said, "Why haven't you gotten that taken care of?" And I just kind of blew her off, even mentioning it to my husband. And the same, I didn't take it serious, I guess. But I want to say to you, if you are experiencing anything like that, frequent headaches, something that you can't explain, maybe stomach aches or blurred vision, anything like that that's unusual, go ahead and get that checked out. And you don't want to be like me and let it be too late and something burst in your head. So I'm going to let you know that I had been looking online trying to figure out what procedure was done in the operating room. So I'm going to attempt to try to explain that to you now. Okay, first of all, they go ahead and shave the ear in my case, it was on the right side. And I believe it appeared to be a 7 that they actually made that incision, a backward 7. And one end started here and it came out here, and I call that my little miracle scar because it's still right there. It's pretty visible if you kind of really stare at it. Anyways, once they make that incision, they're able to get to the bone flap where they create a little tiny hole in the skull. And after they go ahead and open that bone flap, they're able to locate the injury. In my case, it was an aneurysm, and we all know what an aneurysm is. It's a little bulging of the artery that becomes weakened over time and soon bursts like a balloon. So once that was exposed, they inserted a tiny surgical clamp or clip over the aneurysm, the neck of it, to make sure there's no further bleeding. And like I stated before, I believe it was supposed to have been just 2 hours, but I was told afterwards, my surgeon said that because of the size of the aneurysm that was on my left side, they had to spend a lot more time, about 6 hours, and I believe it was a larger clamp that's probably going to be there throughout my lifetime. So I'm just really thankful to be here with you, telling you about what happened. And I understand that if the injury, which in my case was on the right side, your left side is affected. And also I have all of my extremities intact, my legs and my hands, and I don't have any effects of that. And it'll be 10 years, going on 10 years in August of this year, 2020. So moving on, when I woke up after the surgery, when I woke up in ICU, like I said, my daughter and my husband were looking down at me. And I can remember not being able to raise my head. I had to lie flat on my back. They wanted to make sure that there was no complications. Also, I was told that the bone flap was placed in a freezer to make sure that there was no swelling on the brain. They left it there just to keep it there to make sure that there was no swelling. And once they found out that there, I don't know however long it was, once they found out that there was no swelling, thankfully, they went ahead and put the bone flap back in place. I consider that a miracle. Anyway, I can also remember maybe a day or two after that, I began to make up stories like I was hallucinating. I was speaking like, I need to get out of here. I need to get dressed. I believe my customers, my clients are waiting for me at the shop. I've got to get out of here. And my baby sister was like, "Sis, you're not going anywhere. You can't go anywhere. Don't you remember? You just had made your surgery." And I was like, "You don't understand. They're waiting on me. I've got to get out of here. I know they're going to be waiting on me." But you don't understand. In reality, back at that time, I had customers coming and going so often, and I was always on the go. always rushing, trying to get things done, trying to beat the time to get their garments ready. And I just believe I was trying to relive that, which was probably not going to happen anytime soon. So I'm going to cut off there, and I'm going to thank you also for following on my journey, my story. And if you can tune in maybe next week to week 4, I have much more that I want to tell you about what happened in my experience. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.